wear their khaki. But we carry more than just a bag. We carry dreams, grit, and a will to serve.
This is Corpers Can, rising to serve, rising to lead.
Hello and welcome to another impactful episode of Corpers Can, the show where we help young Nigerians navigate NYSC with confidence, clarity and purpose. I'm your host, Egwu-oti Favour, and today's conversation is one that every corper, whether you are just settling into your PPA or months into service, truly needs to hear. Our topic: handling difficult PPAs, navigating workplace politics, boundaries and professionalism. Because let's be honest, PPAs can be amazing, supportive places, but sometimes they can also be draining, political or even toxic. And knowing how to navigate these spaces with wisdom and professionalism can make all the difference. First is Asimonye Kelly, an expert in digital income generation, who combines communication, public relations and social media management with creative tools like Canva and WordPress. He helps individuals and small businesses express their ideas online. His experience navigating the job market, entrepreneurship and mentorship makes him the perfect voice for today's topic. Our second guest is Adeyoola Nafisat, a dynamic and purpose-driven young woman whose journey reflects passion, growth and excellence. A proud graduate of the Federal Polytechnic Ilaro, she's currently serving at the School of Eloquence, Ikoyi, where she inspires others through her authenticity, drive and commitment to communication and confidence.
This is Corpers Can, rising to serve, rising to lead.
Good morning, Kelly and Nafisat.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for joining us in the studio today. So for today's discussion, we are going to be discussing handling difficult PPAs, navigating workplace policies, boundaries, and professionalism. So the first question for today's discussion will be, what are the early signs that a PPA environment may become difficult for a corper?
Okay, it all starts with how you're being welcomed. Like how you immediately you step your foot into the PPA.
Right.
If there's this vibe, maybe you're getting this negative vibe from them and stuff. Then there's also like workload, unrealistic workload. Like you're doing a lot of work, like you're doing work for like 5 people and they're like staff members.
Yeah.
So that's like an early sign. That's like a danger signal for you. So there's also like work structure. Maybe they're not really like giving you like what you should do, like what you should do for the next day. Maybe when you come into work the next day, you're doing another thing. Let's take like a couple who's serving in school, for example. So this week she's meant to take like, maybe she's specifically meant to take like only mathematics and probably English. Then when she now comes to work the next day, they tell her that the principal tells her, see you're doing social studies for today. And that means that place is like disorganized and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Nafisa, please, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, like Kelly said, I think he's right about the fact that I think I'll say something about aura.
Okay.
The way you were welcome.
Yeah.
For me, it's not even about workplace. Anywhere I entered, either meeting new people or anywhere I go, I used to be very, very observant of the kind of environment I entered.
Yes.
So when I notice that anything negative, I already know that there's something coming up.
Yeah.
So whether positive or whether good or bad, the moment you enter a place and the horror there is not even sounding like a very sane environment, you already know that it's a very in for a very long ride. So the first thing for me is when you get to a place and you're already feeling anxious about going to work, definitely that's not a good place. You are not looking forward to work day. And I think the people that make up a workplace is the kind of people, it's the people that make up what a workplace is.
Yes.
It's not even the organization. Because the organization is there, but it's people that is working there.
Yes.
So the kind of colleague you met with will determine if your work environment will be good or bad. though I won't lie, there are good days and bad days for a workplace. But when the bad is more than the good, then definitely it's not even good for your mental health.
Okay.
So when you're already feeling anxious about going to work, imagine it's not even the end of of today. You're already thinking about God, and I'm going to, like, you get to cannot even feel relaxed. You're already anxious about going to work. Definitely, that's not a good place to start.
Okay.
So I think the first thing you need to do is to set firm boundaries. When you notice the slightest disrespect, no matter how low, how young you are, or even if you are the lowest rank in an organization, you deserve your own respect.
Yes. Okay.
Everybody should be accorded their own respect. So when you feel the slightest disrespect, I don't think that's a very good place you want to be. Okay. So that's the first step you notice when you work in an organization.
Okay, like she said,
Yes.
She mentioned the fact that people make up like an organization. Maybe when you enter like a PPA, you know, these days they see like corpers are free labor. So they'll be like, you're just a corper, so you do whatever I say you should do. And that's a very bad sign. And you should be prepared for what's to come.
Okay, thank you very much, Kelly and Nafisat. I would like to add something. What I feel can, start giving signals to the couple that this place is going to be like, may become a difficult one, is when there's no mentorship or guidance from your supervisors or your heads. Yes. Most of us are just doing this formal 9 to 5 work for the first time. And then when you come, you need guidance on certain things to do. When they're not giving you any type of guidance or mentorship, they just want you to figure everything out. It's going to be a very difficult one, and you're going to know this period, this is actually going to maybe frustrate me, and maybe even though in the end you are going to figure it out, but at first it's not going to really gel well for you. And I think another thing should be favoritism and unfair treatment. When maybe your high ups are having preferential treatments with some of your colleagues due to maybe some kind of relationships they have and not on merit, it can also bring frustration, and that this place is not going to be easy for me. It's actually going to frustrate me. So these are the signs that most of us see. Thank you very much for that for your input on this first question. So the second question will be, how can corpers set respectful but firm boundaries when supervisors or colleagues overstep?
Okay.
Yes.
So it's all about communication, firm communication. Maybe you're asked for maybe they tell you they send you personal errands. It's how you react to that message they're sending you to handle.
Yes.
You can start by saying, I'm sorry, I can't do this. It's not work related. So that's you're being firm with your communication and stuff. And you feel like if the person is always doing it and everything, I feel like you should report, because the supervisor always has someone who's higher than the person.
Yes.
So you can report probably to the boss or the person that owns the company and stuff. So yeah.
Okay.
No, I think Kelly is right about that. For me, if I'm someone that I think I'm getting some unrealistic workload, I know that it's not even meant to be, I'll speak up. And setting boundaries is very, very well, like I said.
Yes.
And setting boundaries does not necessarily mean you are being rude. You can set boundaries without being rude. You don't have to talk down or insult people. So I think the way you even put it down, for someone that is actually reasonable, if you are giving a unrealistic workplace, I have every right to tell you, excuse me, this is not my what's it called. No. So the kind of tone you talk and how you put it down to set your boundaries, I think it's very, very important. And a very same person, if you talk to them in a what's it called, in a very reasonable manner, they should be able to know and do the needful. But when it keep getting, even when you are talking and I think you are not being heard or something like that, I think you have to probably report to the person that holds the highest rank in your workplace that, excuse me, this is what I've been going through, and I don't think it's very, very realistic or reasonable. And if you kind of find out that the whole people in the organization are behaving like that, I think that's where the AGI come in. You have every right to report to the NYSC. The fact that you're a core member does not mean you should be disrespected. I think that's something organizations should also look on. So people think because you're a core member, they can just give you unrealistic or good. So people see NYSC as a cheap labor. Okay, fine. We are employing these people for. I can say for a fact that the amount, there are some organizations that does not even pay corpers.
Yes.
And some that pay, the amount they pay corpers is not the same amount they pay the normal staff. Yes. So some people see NYSC as cheap labor, and that's not it. The fact that NYSC is sending people to your organization doesn't mean that you should mistreat them or mishandle them. So you have every right to set that very firm boundaries. No, this thing cannot be going on. I don't want this, and you don't have to be rude about it.
Yes.
So you have to be very, very polite and set that boundary. So
Okay, and let me ask something about these boundaries. It should be consistent. You shouldn't set boundaries and then tomorrow they change. It's going to bring miscommunication or confusion with people that you're setting these boundaries with. You understand? For today, you'll be like, this is not what I want to do, please. And please, when we are setting boundaries, we should say them respectfully, but firmly. You understand? There's difference between saying something firmly and respectfully and saying something rudely to someone. So when we're setting these boundaries should be consistent. Don't waver. Let your yes be yes and your no be no. Yes, not tomorrow now. Your yes will not be no, and then your no will not be yes. So thank you very much for that very insightful discussion topic. So we're going to go on a short break now, and when we come back, we're going to continue our topic. Please stay tuned.
This is Corpers Can, rising to serve, rising to lead.
Do you feel terrified when speaking before a group? Are you stressed when asked to present? Do you bore people when speaking? Are you stuck with reading word for word? How do you give a speech with polish? Learn how at the School of Eloquence,
the home of public speaking. Attend our practical coaching in public speaking. Call 0802 303 2066 or log on to schoolofeloquence.org.
School of Eloquence, teaching the world to speak.
This is Corpers Can, rising to serve, rising to lead.
Welcome back. Before we went on a break, we were talking about handling difficult PPAs, navigating workplace politics and professionalism. And in the studio, we have Kelly and Nafisat. Thank you for staying with us. So we're going to continue our discussion today. And the next question will be, what should a corper do when he's faced with workplace politics, professionalism, or unnecessary pressure? What do you think a corper should do?
Okay, politics can drain you, and you should be careful about these things. You should communicate with your supervisor. If you see that this thing, this is not what you're meant to be doing, you go and meet your supervisor and ask for clarifications and instructions. Then you should ask what you should prioritize first. Because you can work in a PPA now, they have like 2 permanent staff. They're fighting for influence over you. They probably give you like contradictory instructions, like the same, that kind of stuff. So you go and meet your supervisor, then you ask for clarifications. So what tasks should I prioritize first? Then there's also like, how do I put it? There's also, if you see that your supervisor is probably not giving you like what you should want, you probably should meet the owner of the company and stuff. So.
Okay.
Well, for me, I think if you kind of find yourself in a situation whereby you are faced with workplace and politics, I don't think you should get involved. Be neutral. And one thing that is very important, don't even take sides. Don't try it. Because at the end of the day, you find yourself in the middle, and that's very bad. So when you kind of smell anything workplace politics, just stay neutral. Don't take sides. Just be yourself, do your work, and leave. Okay. That's it. But when you notice that you get to the point that politics is getting to, like, it's draining you mentally, I think you have to probably talk to your boss about it. That because when you are kind of faced with the workplace politics and you find yourself not feeling good about it, at the end of it, it will be draining you mentally. That's bad. So I think you should kind of find your place and talk to your boss about it, that this is not a friendly environment to work about, something that you don't want to be caught up in your colleagues' politics or anything. And when you know that it's just a general organizational thing, I think you have to have a private conversation with your OGI. So probably you change your PPA, because your mental health is very, very important. I cannot imagine at the end of your 1 year and you're having a mental break just because you find yourself in a PPA that is very, very cold and bitter. So I think that's my own first step is that be neutral. Don't take side. Because if you take side, you find yourself in the middle at the end of the day. So even the people that you're taking side with, at the end of the day, you just notice that they ditch you one time. So just be neutral. Don't take side with anything. Do your homework. Do your work diligently and leave. So I think from there, you will know if you still like the politics is still manageable, or it's something that is overwhelming and you have to just leave that organization.
Thank you very much. So I feel one thing to deal with a workplace politics or favoritism from your high ups down to your colleagues. I feel you need to be professional. Being professional is staying focused and doing exactly what you are meant to do at your workplace, doing exactly the job description you are meant to do. That's how you can cope with some of these things. Like I know most times can be frustrating. For example, your bosses or your high ups, they are, favoring your colleagues more than you. And you know that maybe you are actually better than them. You actually merit whatever you're supposed to get from your boss and you're not getting from him. But it's being given to someone else, maybe due to relationships they have. But just stay professional. That's just the main key things you should take home. Stay professional. Thank you very much. So the next question will be, how can a corper maintain professionalism even when the work environment feels hostile or discouraging?
Okay. Don't go about with your emotions, because emotions play a very significant role when you're trying to complain about something and stuff. Always stay professional. Don't try and demeaning the company.
Yes.
Just state facts. This is what has happened. This is what I want to do. Please, I want to leave your organization. I feel like my skills are not required here. I feel like my growth it requires someone else. So, yeah.
Well, for me, I think in any organization, whether you're a core member, whether you're a staff, as an individual working in an organization, professionalism is very, very important. If there are some boundaries that if you are not professional, you will not be able to keep it.
Yes.
So you have to be professional because before you can even state a firm boundaries. If you're not professional, you'll not be able to stay. There are some things that you will face in the organization, but you just have to say, just want to be professional. So if you're not professional, you'll not be able to state that that boundary will not be firm. You have to remember the fact that NYC is a journey and just a 1 year. So the reputation you build in that organization is very, very important. You have to be very very intentional about your own reputation, because if outside NYC there is you and there is your reputation. So the reputation you build in that organization will go a very long way. You don't know who is who, you don't know where you find yourself again. So imagine there are some recruiters that when you go for an interview, when you go for an interview, the last workplace will be stated there.
Yes.
I don't know. I think there are some recruiters that go as far as checking way back about your last place of work.
Yes.
Making research, making their inquiry that so person work at your organization. What can you say about her before they recruit you? Imagine they doing that. And those things, they will run you without you even knowing.
Yes, exactly.
They will run that research without you even. Imagine they making that research, and the reason why they will not employ you is the fact that the last place of work is saying they say terrible things about you, about your reputation. This is not even a matter of they making it up. Let's say they're actually stating the fact. So if you are professional, you have to be very intentional about your reputation. You have to maintain a very good reputation in your place of work. Don't say because this is an NYC journey, it's just 1 year. That 1 year will go a very long way in your career life, and you don't even know where it is. So I think you have to make sure that your reputation is very, very. I don't know, for me, anywhere I go, whether it's an organization or anything, even meeting people, I make sure I create a very good reputation. That my name is very, very big, and I don't want any small thing to spend that name. So you don't even know. I love the fact that even when I'm recommending you to someone, they will be I can bring my things and say, okay, this person, no, I trust this person. And when they actually check and they can say, okay, fine, I'm glad that you make this recommendation. Imagine people recommending you and they are kind of happy that the fact that they recommend, because they are meeting what they stated you to be. So I think your reputation is very important, and professionalism goes a long way with reputation. So if you are professional, you maintain a very good reputation.
Oh, thank you very much. And I feel, even though most times you can be professional, but the favoritism and the politics and the frustration in the work can get so much. So I feel we should communicate. I feel you should communicate. Either communicate with your colleagues or you communicate with your boss and tell them, please, sir, this is what is going on. Please, ma, this is what is going on. Or my colleague, please, this is what is going on and I don't like it. Can you please stop this? Can you please do this? I don't like the way some certain things. Communication is key. Yeah. Most times, they don't even know if what they're doing is wrong or if you even like it. So it's when you open up and you tell them, see what's going on. I don't like this or I like this. and I want things to be like this, or I don't want it to be like this, they will get to understand. And if you have done that, or you talk to somebody, someone that you feel is your mentor, someone that you feel can mentor you for advice cannot be overemphasized. Yes, you talk with your mentors. Please, sir, this is what's going on. Please, ma, this is what's going on. How do I manage this? How do I manage this in my workplace? How do I manage this kind of situations in my workplace? And definitely, they're also going to give you some advice to cope with where you're working, your PPA. And if it's still not enough for you, then you can change. It's not a do or die affair. You can change your PPA and go somewhere else. Somewhere where your values will be cherished.
Yeah.
Yes. So that's just it. So thank you very much, Kelly and Nafisat. Yes, sorry, I almost forgot your name. Thank you very much for coming to our show. We're looking forward to seeing you in our next episode. Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
This is Corpers Can, rising to serve, rising to lead.
A big thank you to our guests Asimonye Kelly and Adeyoola Nafisat for sharing such practical and inspiring insights. And to every corper watching, remember, your environment may challenge you, but it must never define you. Stay focused, stay professional, and stay hopeful, because indeed, corpers can. See you in the next episode. Bye.
This is Corpers Can, rising to serve, rising to lead.